dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Hey, good evening. I'm Jim Freeman. Strong to severe storms are possible on Monday. That's why we have a first alert weather day in effect. Let's check in with first alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron for the latest. Cameron?
Yeah, Jim, we are watching out for possibly more strong storms on Monday. Tonight, not looking at a huge severe weather threat, only a small chance of a few stray showers out there. Here's a look at first alert pinpoint Doppler. Most of us are dry right now, but a few spotty sprinkles over the Big Sandy, one not too far away from Grundy in Buchanan County. Also watching out for a few more showers in Mingo and Logan counties as well. Again, nothing too widespread, but a few spotty sprinkles cannot be ruled out as we go into tonight. Also keeping a close eye on this complex of showers and storms pushing into the Louisville metro. This could try to bring a few showers into the region overnight, but again, not going to be a big deal. We are watching out for some mild and muggy weather to continue. Those temperatures fall into the upper 60s and lower 70s as you wake up on Monday. And again, watching out for a few showers and storms overnight. But the big story, a level 2 risk of severe weather is in place on Monday for the entire region. And that is why we have a first alert weather day in place on Monday for the potential for strong to severe storms, maybe 2 different rounds, one in the morning, one also in the evening. And again, those main threats, strong straight line winds, possibly a brief spin up tornado, and maybe some small hail as well. Those details plus your full 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Jim?
Cameron, thanks. Lots to talk about. Kentucky State Police troopers are investigating a crash in Lee County that left 2 people dead. Just before 9 p.m. Saturday, troopers said they were called about a crash with possible entrapment on Kentucky 52 West. Following an investigation, officials said a 2006 Ford F-150 driven by Joshua Reed was going west on Kentucky 52. Reed, age 39, lost control of the truck, causing it to go over an embankment and overturn. Reed and a passenger, 61-year-old Charles Dennis, were pronounced dead at the scene by the Lee County Deputy Coroner. The investigation is ongoing. One man was killed after an ATV crash in Martin County. Officials say 29-year-old William Dillon crashed on Emily Creek Road early Sunday morning. Martin County Coroner Chris Todd said he got the call around 5 a.m. Dillon was taken to the medical examiner's office at Frankfort for an autopsy. The crash is under investigation. A Laurel County man is facing charges after police say he caused a disturbance for drivers. Police say it happened on Friday morning off Highway 3434 just north of London. Laurel County Sheriff's deputies say they received reports that a man was waving his arms and screaming at cars as they drove by. When they arrived, deputies say Michael Medlock was in the road and found that he was under the influence. He's been charged with disorderly conduct, public intoxication, resisting arrest, and menacing. Virginia State Police investigating a deadly crash in Buchanan County. Officials say the crash happened on August the 7th, shortly before 1:30 p.m. on Route 83. Following an investigation, police say 44-year-old Buford A. Bevins was driving a 2018 Honda SX700 Pioneer. Police added Bevins from Johnson City, Tennessee, lost control, ran off the side of the road and hit an embankment. Bevins was taken to Buchanan General Hospital at Grundy for treatment, where he later died. The crash remains under investigation. Officials with the Whitley County Sheriff's Department are asking for your help in finding Cody Dean. Dean is reportedly from the southern end of Whitley County and wanted on arson and other charges. Officials said Dean was reportedly stabbed in Campbell County, Tennessee over the weekend and taken to the University of Tennessee Medical Center at Knoxville for treatment. Police said Dean left the hospital and returned to Kentucky. If you have any information on Dean's location, you can call Whitley County Dispatch 606-549-6017. A complaint, expired tags, and multiple previous and even pending charges. But we discovered in a weeks-long investigation, several red flags still were not enough to prevent a Central Kentucky tragedy. 24-year-old Cheyenne Clifford is charged with murder in connection with a deadly crash back in June. Clifford's arrest citation says his blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. As our investigative team has discovered, Clifford wasn't even supposed to be driving that night. Garrett Weimer has more.
A small memorial now lines Myers Road.
Just to mark it, you know.
The site of a crash that has left its own marks. seen
We very much feel it
and unseen.
every day.
Rebecca Allison most remembers the sounds.
The girl started to scream, and this loud terror. She was terrified and in a lot of pain.
Allison lives just feet from where the red pickup truck left the pavement and yards from where it landed. She says while her husband performed CPR on 2 of the victims, she dialed 911.
Where is your emergency?
It wasn't the first time that night someone called police on the red truck. Less than 2 hours earlier, a man who was asked not to be identified drove down part of the same highway.
I got to get in the ditch to get, completely almost off the road, almost wrecked myself trying to get off the road.
In an exclusive interview with WKYT Investigates, he says he narrowly avoided a crash as the red truck and another car sped around him.
They make me mad, they almost killed me that when they passed me down there, it just make me mad.
After he says he saw them again in downtown Carlisle at 9:42 p.m., he dialed 911.
201, 202, go ahead.
Caller advises red Dodge truck driving all over roadway, the blotter states, with 4 to 5 people inside and hanging out windows. At 9:49, a Carlisle police officer pulled over 24-year-old Cheyenne Clifford in a matching red truck at a local gas station. Dispatch logs show the stop lasted 6 minutes before Clifford was let go with a verbal warning. Now 9:56 p.m., 1 hour 43 minutes before the fatal crash. Carlisle Police Chief Bill Denton declined a request for an on-camera interview, but did speak with me on the phone. He told me the department does not have a specific policy for when to issue a warning instead of writing a citation or making an arrest in a traffic stop. He said he trusts his officers to use all of their senses and their common sense. I'm told the officer who pulled Clifford over that night, Jamie Kofer, resigned effective July 24th. Chief Denton says his resignation letter did not give any reasons. That officer, through a family member, declined to comment for this story. Clifford also has a lengthy history of previous traffic offenses that could have been red flags. As recently as April 10th in Bourbon County, Clifford was charged with speeding and reckless driving. A state trooper said he saw Clifford driving 101 in a 55. Online court records show 8 other incidents that resulted in traffic charges filed against him going back to 2014 when Clifford was just 15 years old. After the crash, Clifford was charged for expired tags and failure to maintain insurance. Investigators say he initially lied to them, saying he wasn't driving.
I done the right thing. I called it in that they was driving reckless.
The man who called 911 earlier in the night says he can't know for sure if Clifford had been drinking before he reported him, but he does know the behavior he saw, and he knows what happened next.
But I had it done over again, I'd have blocked the road on them, and I'd have pulled them out of the truck, and they might have whooped my ass, but I'd have done my best to do whatever I had to do.
For Rebecca and Larry Allison,
It was a long and terrible night. It really was.
it's been impossible to escape the memories of what happened here on their property.
If it's hard for me, I can only imagine. I can only imagine what it is for the families and the individuals that survived. I can only imagine. I can't imagine.
That was Garrett Weimer reporting. Clifford was indicted June 19th on 11 counts. He's still being held in the Bourbon County Detention Center. A pretrial conference is scheduled for October. Today at Transylvania University, more than 100 Kentucky National Guard members were on hand with family and friends ahead of a deployment tomorrow. The deployment, which will last 9 months, will send the troops to Southwest Asia. In addition to the soldiers' families, Governor Beshear was on hand to speak to the crowd. Family members and soldiers reflected on what the departure means for them.
It's always the small stuff, it's the little stuff that you end up missing the most. Yeah. Stuff that you don't even think about, going for a ride together and just taking an evening ride, it's the little things.
For more details on the troops' departure, WKYT's Jessica Umbro will have the full story on our news tonight at 11. It's an exciting time as students return to campus at Alice Lloyd College for the start of the new school year. This year, the college has 200 incoming freshmen alone stepping onto the campus, and Isabella Freeman says that some students will be excited to be living in a newly built dorm building this year.
Oh, absolutely, especially in our girls. So we have about 200 incoming freshmen just moving in, and our Holmes Hall has just opened this the first year, and all of our freshmen and sophomores are going to be enjoying a brand new dorm, so they're extremely excited.
Along with adding new dorms, officials with the college also say some bridges were all repaired due to the July floods in 2022, that everyone is looking forward to start a new school year. As students head back to school this week, many of them are still feeling the effects of the COVID pandemic had on their learning. A study from Harvard Center for Education Policy Research reviewed math, reading, and history scores from the past 3 years. They found that students experienced a significant decline in learning during the pandemic.
So it's really opened up a lot of really interesting conversations about what does student engagement look like in the classroom, and how can we better engage our young people in a way that continues to connect with them.
Dr. Schroeder recommends parents keep an open line of communication with their child's teachers to discuss their struggles and successes in the classroom. Over the weekend, a new playground opened in Somerset, with officials having big goals for the project. WYMT's RJ Johnson talked with Somerset Mayor Alan Keck about why this park is so important.
Fisher Fun Park 2 is the newest addition to the city of Somerset.
This is the bottom of Rocky Hollow Park, a great playground or a great park in the heart of our downtown. We've had a cleanup going on for several years, and we thought this was a great place to put a playground for all kids that they could walk to and enjoy for years to come.
Somerset Mayor Alan Keck says this is a way to make progress in the community.
I'm just grateful that the community is, sort of asked and demanded us to keep reaching, keep pushing, not to get stale. A lot of communities can get stale and stagnant. Well, we want to keep moving forward, and this is a great example of how we've done that.
He says by adding pops of color, the park also serves as a way to help revitalize the city.
And I mean, the colors represent our city logo. That was intentional. It is, as you mentioned, kind of a beautification project. It's something that we think has enhanced this section of town. And again, it's just something for families, good, wholesome fun.
With the ability to learn and participate in activities relating to sign language, music, and more, Keck says this playground is inclusive.
We're proud of this playground because it's all inclusive. Kids with handicaps or disabilities can still enjoy it. We've got a volleyball court right behind us, a splash pad. There's a little something for kids of all ages.
With help from other community leaders, Keck says he is excited for the role this park will play for the city. In Somerset, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Thanks, RJ. In addition to the playground and splash pad, the park has sand volleyball, frisbee golf, and a trail of books for kids to read. Coming up at 11, the Kentucky governor's race nears the finish line. More information on both candidates is next.
Plus, we are watching out for strong storm chances on Monday. Those details plus your 7-day forecast after this break.